9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
On the 2nd of March 2004, an Ariane 5 rocket carrying the Rosetta spacecraft launched into the night sky. Rosetta would then embark on a 10-year-long mission to Comet 67P Churyumov-Gerasimenko. This moment was the culmination of decades of planning and construction. Rosetta carried the Philae lander, the first spacecraft to do a soft landing on a comet. Scientists consider comets to be why Earth has the key ingredients to life by bringing organic molecules and possibly water. Comets are icy chunks of rock left over from the planet formation during the solar system's early years. Comet 67P is extremely far away from Earth, lying between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Rosetta would then have to do complex maneuvers to reach the comet, including 3 flybys of Earth in 2005, 2007, and 2009, and 1 flyby of Mars in 2007. On the way, Rosetta encountered 2 asteroids, Steins in 2008 and Lutetia in 2010. By 2011, Rosetta was far from the Sun and running out of energy. Mission planners decided to set Rosetta into hibernation mode on the 8th of June 2011 for the next 2 years. Rosetta's anticipated wake-up will happen in 31 months. How did we go from this launch to me crying because the RosettaShop.eu redirects to the new design and data website? Let's find out by looking back in time to the years 2013 and 2014. In late 2013, Rosetta rapidly approached its target, Comet 67P Churyumov-Gerasimenko. At the time, Rosetta was still in hibernation, ready to be woken up next year in 2014. Rosetta was not that well known to the public at this time, but the communications team at ESA knew that there would be a rapid uptick in popularity in 2014. The team at ESA began creating social media accounts for the Rosetta mission. ESA commissioned a cross-media company, Design and Data GmbH, based in Cologne, Germany, to prompt the Wake Up Rosetta campaign. 4 videos were created for Rosetta's wake-up. A video with alarm clocks, 2 more videos about people on the streets waking up Rosetta, and a short cartoon video showing the mission achievements up to this point. ESA originally wanted to make the cartoon in a storybook style, but Design and Data expanded on the idea and wanted to make a fully fledged cartoon. They believed that this style would help get more of the general public to be interested in the mission. The cartoon spacecraft featured anthropomorphized versions of Rosetta and Philae spacecraft designed by Carl Palazzari. The first video was released on ESA's social media channels on the 20th of December 2013 with glowing reviews. Each episode is created by writing a draft script and animation. There was a long review process by the ESA team to ensure that every detail was factual. After the review process, the final version was created with narration and music and published on ESA channels. Now, let's take a look at the cartoon itself. Once Upon a Time Rosetta is a cartoon that was produced by Design and Data GmbH and published by ESA from 2013 to 2016. The show featured 2 spacecraft, Rosetta, the elder sister, and Philae, the younger brother, and was created to promote the Rosetta mission. The episodes were produced from the wake-up of Rosetta to the mission's end in 2016. The show also introduced other characters representing other spacecraft such as the ICE, Suicide, Sakigake, Vega 1, Vega 2, Stardust, Deep Impact, and most importantly, Giotto. Giotto is Rosetta and Philae's grandfather, who visited Comet Halley in 1986. After Rosetta wakes up in 2014, she and Philae begin rendezvousing with the comet. Rosetta had to do complex maneuvers to match the speed of the comet and reach it. In the episode titled Are We There Yet?, Philae is really impatient and repeatedly asks the question,
Rosetta, are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Later, Rosetta arrives at the comet and finds that it looks like a rubber duck. Photos from telescopes around Earth made the comet look more like a potato. Rosetta then puts herself into orbit and explores the comet's surface from a distance. Rosetta also had to find a place for Philae to land. Philae prepared by packing his binoculars, a camera, a compass, a pickaxe, and the famous sandwich. On November 12, 2014, Philae began his descent to the comet. However, after several hours, Philae's harpoons did not fire, and he bounced multiple times before landing in a dark area of the comet. During this event, Design and Data and ESA faced a challenge while producing the episode about philae and the comet landing. In real life, philae had to hibernate due to an insufficient supply of power. However, since the public had already developed an emotional attachment to Rosetta and philae, the team decided to avoid the use of the term died. In another similar incident, the Rosetta spacecraft lost its correct orientation, or attitude, during a close orbit of the comet, as the dust floating around the comet was misinterpreted as stars by Rosetta star trackers. Instead of saying that Rosetta went out of control, Design and Data and ESA said that Rosetta was just disorientated due to the large amounts of dust surrounding the comet. During the last episode, Rosetta decided to follow in philae's footsteps and land on the comet, mirroring the mission's planner's decision to gracefully crash Rosetta at the mission's end. At the end of the final episode, there was a scene where two people in the future observed Rosetta and philae's landing site, a reference to another Rosetta sci-fi short film, Ambition, with the film's logo on the wall in the scene. All of this was set in a simple but beautiful style that made things look hand-painted. The Rosetta Cartoon not only brought our attention on YouTube, but also took social media interaction to a whole new level. The cartoon seamlessly integrated itself with the world of first-person tweets, a technique previously used with missions like NASA's Curiosity. However, the ESA team elevated the art of Twitter communication to new heights. Rosetta and philae were able to have real-time conversations with each other, share updates, narrate the journey that they were on, and even talk to other spacecraft. The ingenious use of Twitter not only allowed for instant communications, but also provided a unique and more personal touch to the mission. The team also incorporated images from the cartoon into the tweets, amplifying the entire experience by making the tweets seem more real and immersive. The Rosetta and philae Twitter accounts allowed people to participate and interact with Rosetta and philae, creating a sense of connection between the characters and their followers back on Earth. All of these communication campaigns were able to bring the Rosetta mission to the general public. At the peak of Rosetta's hype train, Design and Data opened a merch shop at rosettashop.eu. This shop features the standard items such as Rosetta and philae shirts, sweaters, and the highly popular Rosetta plush. Design and Data encourage people to bring their Rosetta plushes, places, take selfies with them. One of the last major releases of the Rosetta cartoon was a version for planetariums. This version was made in collaboration with the Swiss Museum of Transport and brought the cartoon to planetariums around the world. I even watched this version in real life at a planetarium in Montreal. It was a really cool experience with the large 4K dome screen immersing me in the world of Rosetta and philae. They even had beanbags for me to sit in. A major loss happened in February of 2021. The Rosetta shop closed after 7 years of operation. No reason was officially published, but I had begun to speculate some potential reasons. The main mission science phase ending in 2019 could have influenced this decision, and another far-fetched reason is that the main designer, Carlo Palazzari, probably left Design and Data to join another studio Huckapack, signified by the removal of any mention of him and the entire redesign of the website. What makes this reason unlikely, though, is that Carlo still makes content for the Bepi Colombo cartoon campaign, which is also created by Design and Data. This is only speculation, and we may never know why the shop was closed. In 2023, I still look back at this amazing mission and its groundbreaking communication campaign, especially the cartoon. Even though I've only discovered the cartoon in 2020, during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, the cartoon's beautiful visuals and unique storytelling still make me watch the cartoon to this day. And Design and Data, please give me a Rosetta plush right now, okay?